move on. We do have our judge here, so I'm going to get us moving. I know you're all eager to see the main event. I just want to tell you that these students have worked very hard. What they do is they receive a case packet every year. They have to get to know all the witnesses in the case. They learn the basics of direct examination, cross-examination, opening and closing, speeches that set up the entire trial. They have to learn what it means to prosecute a case and to prove a case beyond a reasonable doubt. They have to learn how to defend a case and figure out how to create some doubt in this trial. They need to learn what a charge is, what it means to be charged as a criminal defendant, and what it means to be innocent until proven guilty. We talk about all of these things and all this terminology, and they come home with some great stuff, I hope, and I hope they've been practicing with you and you've gotten to see what they've been able to do. I have so many people I would like to thank, but I'm going to keep it brief. I just want to say thank you to the King's Academy for providing this opportunity, to our administrators, our teachers, all the people that love our children, and just for the opportunity to do this every year. And before we begin, I do have a student praying for us, and that's really special and new this year as well. So Eden, if you want to come on up here, we're going to pray for our trial, and then we're going to call the case and get started, okay? All right. Are you comfortable with the mic?
Dear God, thank you for today and everything you have made for us. Help everyone today to have strength for every part they have to do, and that everyone has fun and does great. Thank you that everyone is here today. Amen.
The Honorable Timothy Ott presiding. With that, the case is yours. I will step out of the way.
Thank you. We are here to call this case to order. The State of Woodland versus Goldilocks Goldberg. Case number 41-2025. Are all parties present and ready to proceed? Members of the jury, you are here today because the defendant, Goldilocks Goldberg, has been charged with trespassing into and vandalizing the Bear family's home on October 26, of 2024. Under Woodland law, criminal trespass is defined as unlawfully entering another person's dwelling or property without permission of the owner, and vandalism means deliberately destroying private property. At the conclusion of this trial, you must decide if Goldilocks is guilty of each charge beyond a reasonable doubt. Are the parties ready to begin with opening statements? In that case, the prosecution, you can begin with opening statements when you are ready to proceed.
Good afternoon, Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. My name is AJ Basinger, and I represent the State of Woodland City. Goldilocks made a mess, but she wasn't a guest. October 6, 2024 started out as an ordinary day for the Bear family. After breakfast, the Bear family attended a pumpkin festival nearby and came home to a complete mess. The lock on the front door was broken, Baby Bear's chair was broken, and Baby Bear's maple porridge was eaten. You will hear today that everyone agrees it was Goldilocks that was found sleeping in Baby Bear's bed. Today, the state bears the burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt on 2 counts, trespassing and vandalism. Trespassing means unlawfully entering another's property or dwelling without permission. Vandalism means to deliberately destroy private property. To prove that Goldilocks is guilty of trespassing and vandalism, we will call 6 witnesses. First, Baby Bear will tell you that even though he invited Goldilocks, she had a cheer tournament and could not make it that day. So he was not expecting her, yet she was found sleeping in his bed the morning of October 6th. Officer Andy Griffith will explain that he is an officer who serves at the Happy Valley Police Department and arrived at the scene to find the house in general disarray. Officer Andy Griffith will also show you some of Goldilocks' text messages, including the one saying, "So jealous you get to hang out at Baby Bear's. Next time, don't forget about me." Rena Rabbit, an eyewitness, will describe how she lived in Happy Valley for 12 years and has known the Bear family for a long time. She will also explain how the Bear family does not like people to pop in unexpectedly and is very private. Papa Bear will confirm that he likes privacy and quiet to work in his repair shop. He will also state that they were having an open house, but it got canceled, so no one was at the house the morning of October 6th. Max Moll, another eyewitness, will establish that he saw a blonde girl sitting in Baby Bear's TV chair and how Baby Bear texted him later that day that Goldilocks broke into his house. You will hear directly from Goldilocks and learn that she was jealous that she never got to hang out with her friends. You will see her text messages and show that she felt left out and that she intended to steal one of Mama Bear's cookies on October 6th. Finally, the state's expert, Dr. Esmar Alec, will provide how DNA can deteriorate after 24 hours, and how Glenda Goodwich, the defense expert, claims that she found nothing after a forensic sweep of the house. However, she did not investigate the scene until 92 hours later and admits that she waited too long to look for hair, fingerprints, footprints, or DNA. After seeing the evidence and hearing the testimony today, we ask that you return to the only fair verdict. We ask that you find Goldilocks guilty of trespassing into the Bears' private home and vandalizing their property by making a mess and breaking Baby Bear's chair on Saturday, October 6, 2024. Thank you.
Is the defense ready to proceed with opening statements?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, my name is Lan Ford and I represent the defense. Scared and alone, Goldilocks had no phone. On Friday, October 5th, Baby Bear invited his friends, including Goldilocks, to come over to his house the next day to play a video game. You will hear that Goldilocks was not aware that she could go to Baby Bear's house until the morning of October 6th. Once Goldilocks got permission from her mom, she left and walked to Baby Bear's house. Goldilocks will tell you that she got lost on the way, and when she tried to call someone, she realized her phone was dead. When she saw a house with an open house sign outside, she assumed someone was inside. When she spotted a bedroom, she decided to lie down for a moment of comfort, but she accidentally fell asleep, and when she woke up, the police were surrounding her. Today, the state bears the burden of proof that Goldilocks is innocent on two accounts: trespassing and vandalism. Trespassing means unlawfully entering another's property. Vandalism means destroying private property. 5 witnesses were cast doubt on the state's case. First, Goldilocks will tell you that she was invited to Baby Bear's house to play on October 6th. She originally could not go due to a cheer tournament, but then it got canceled because of the flu. She texted Baby Bear that she was on her way, and she left shortly after. Even though she knew where Baby Bear lived, when she was in the woods, the roads were very confusing, and she got lost. She was so afraid and crying, and she started looking for shelter rather than Baby Bear's house. When she tried to call her mom, she realized her phone battery was dead. She was scared and alone with no phone. Kel Williams will explain that there was, in fact, an open house scheduled the morning of October 6th, but that too was canceled due to the flu. Papa Bear agreed to take down the open house sign but forgot and left it in the yard. Chip Chipmunk will describe Baby Bear's fun house, his video games, huge backyard, and Mama Bear's delicious treats that she loves to serve to everyone. He will explain how he and all the other friends, including Goldilocks, were invited to come over to his house the morning of October 6th. When Chip Chipmunk returned to school, he saw scratches all over Goldilocks' face and arms and heard her say she got lost in the woods over the weekend. Strangely, Baby Bear would not sit with her at lunch on Monday. Miss Goldberg will confirm that Goldilocks' cheer tournament was canceled, so she agreed to let her go to Baby Bear's house. She had been reassured by Baby Bear's mother that Goldilocks was always welcome and that Baby Bear was always looking for someone tall to play basketball with. She tried checking in with Goldilocks around 11 a.m. and could not contact her. At 1 p.m., she got a call from Happy Valley Police Department stating that Goldilocks was in custody for trespassing and vandalism. Lastly, our expert Dr. Glenda Goodwich will conclude that Goldilocks Goldberg likely did not force entry into the Bears family home and did not consume, damage, or steal any items within their residence. Our expert, who's a private crime scene investigative firm, found no DNA evidence on the door, the broken chair, or any location where things were destroyed. Given the lack of forensic evidence, you will see that there is nothing concrete to prove Goldilocks vandalized anything in the Bears family home. In addition, Goldilocks had an open invitation to Baby Bear's house, and therefore she assumed she could go into their house the morning of October 6th. As she got lost, she was looking for a safe place. She was scared and alone and had no phone. What was a 10-year-old girl lost in the woods supposed to do? After seeing the evidence and hearing the testimony today, we ask that you return the only fair verdict. We ask that you find Goldilocks not guilty of trespassing into the Bears' home and vandalizing the property on Saturday, October 6th. Thank you.
Is the prosecution now ready to call their first witness?
Yes, Your Honor. The state calls Baby Bear.
Counsel for prosecution, you may begin when you are ready.
Please state your name for the record.
My name is Baby Bear.
Where do you go to school, Baby Bear?
I go to school at Happy Valley Elementary School, and I am Miss Total's 5th grade class.
How old are you?
I'm 10 years old.
What do you like to do in your free time?
I play basketball for the Woodland Woodchucks, and I play the saxophone.
Let's talk about your friends at school. Who are your friends?
I have lots of friends, but my best friends are Goldilocks, Goldberg, Chip Chipmunk, Robin Roberts, and Max Mole.
Do you often invite your friends over?
Yeah, there's not many people in my neighborhood I can play with, so I often like to have company.
How did you meet Goldilocks?
I met her at a basketball game at school.
Is Goldilocks often invited?
Yeah, but she can never come because of her cheer competitions.
Are you allowed to invite your friends over without your parents home?
Yeah, Papa Bear doesn't like when people aren't there, when people are there when he's not supervising.
Is there a reason that your friends like to come over?
Yeah, I have a big backyard, a basketball hoop, a video game den, and Mama Bear makes the best porridge and cookies.
Did you know that you had the pumpkin festival when you invited your friends over?
No, I found out when I got home later that day.
Did this affect your ability to have your friends over?
Yes, when we're not home, no one's allowed to come in.
Why did you invite your friends over on October 6th?
The new game Forte was coming out, and I was the only one who had pre-ordered the game.
Let's turn to the day of the break-in. What were you doing on the day of the crime?
I was at a pumpkin festival with my family.
Explain what you found when you got home from the pumpkin festival.
The house was a mess. The door was open. There was an intruder sleeping in my bed. My chair was in pieces, and my porridge was eaten.
Who was the intruder in your bedroom?
Goldilocks Goldberg.
What did you do at the pumpkin festival?
I picked out a giant pumpkin and went on a hayride with my dad.
Lastly, let's talk about how things are going after the crime. Do you know why Goldilocks broke in?
No, if no one was home, why would she just pop in?
Did she mess stuff up at school or with your friends?
Yes, Chipmunk feels bad for her, so he'll only sit at her table, but we won't sit at the same table anymore.
Is there anything going on in your neighborhood?
Yeah, no one will buy our house. I wish this had never happened. Everything is a mess.
There are no further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Counsel for defense, is there any cross-examination of this witness?
Please state your name for the record.
My name is Baby Bear.
You were friends with Goldilocks, correct?
Correct.
Good friends?
I would say yes.
You are in her class, correct?
Yes,
You have other friends, correct?
correct.
And you are still friends with all of them?
Not anymore.
You invited all your friends over to your house, correct?
Yes, but I had a pumpkin festival that day and I didn't know it.
You invited them to come over on October 6th?
Yes, but I was at a pumpkin festival with my family.
Including Goldilocks?
Yeah, but like I said, I was at a pumpkin festival with my family.
Goldilocks did not know that you had the pumpkin festival that day, correct?
Yes,
You did not give your friends a correct time to come over, correct?
correct.
Did your other friends know about the pumpkin festival?
I think a few of them did.
Your dad is very messy, correct?
Correct.
You were supposed to have an open house that day, correct?
Correct, but they got canceled because of the woodland flu.
Before you left, you played a little bit of that new video game, correct?
Correct.
So you were in kind of a rush to get out of the door?
Correct.
So you might have left the door unlocked?
Correct, but Papa Bear is normally very safe, so he normally locks the doors.
You could not wait to get back home and play with your friends, correct?
Correct.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Witness, you are excused. Counsel for the prosecution, are you ready to call your next witness?
Yes, sir. I'm the state cops officer in Griffith.
Counsel, you may begin when you are ready.
Please state your name for the record.
Andy Griffith.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a sergeant in the Happy Valley Police Department.
How many years have you served?
6.
Have you experienced much crime?
Few break-ins, but nothing much.
Let's discuss the crime on October 6th. What time did you get the phone call?
I was dispatched at 12 o'clock p.m. and arrived at 12:12 p.m.
What did the house look like when you arrived?
Everything was in general disarray. There was a broken chair, spilled porridge, and the lock was busted.
Was there a perpetrator in the house?
Yes.
Where in the house was Goldilocks Goldberg in?
She was in Baby Bear's bed.
No more further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel. Counsel for the defense, do you have a cross-examination of this witness?
One moment, Your Honor. We have one more part of this examination.
In that case, please hold on a minute, counsel.
Let's talk about the evidence. What evidence did you find from Goldilocks?
Text messages to her friends.
Will you recognize these messages?
Yes.
Permission to show opposing counsel?
Granted.
Permission to approach witness?
Granted.
What is this?
Text messages from Goldilocks Goldberg to her friends.
Does this correctly represent the text?
Yes.
Has it been changed in any way?
No.
The state moves Exhibit 1 into evidence.
Is there any objection? With no objection, this exhibit is entered into evidence.
Permission to publish to the jury?
Granted.
Who sent the messages?
Goldilocks Goldberg.
Who are the messages sent to?
Chip Chipmunk and Baby Bear.
Please read the message sent to Chip Chipmunk.
On Thursday, October 4th at 5:25 p.m., Goldilocks texted Chip, "So jealous you get to hang out at BB's. Next time, don't forget about me."
Please read the messages sent to Baby Bear.
On Friday, October 5th at 7:35 p.m., Goldilocks texted Baby Bear, "Just hope you can survive the first challenge." And on Saturday, October 6th at 9:50 a.m., she said, "I'm headed to your house to steal one of Mama Bear's famous cookies."
What does the message from October 6th say Goldilocks is going to do?
She is intending to steal.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Now, does defense counsel have a cross-examination of this witness?
You served in the Happy Valley Police Department, correct?
Yes.
For 6 years?
Yes.
You are not fond of the people from Woodland City, correct?
Correct.
You are aware that Goldilocks is from Woodland City and recently moved?
Yes.
Let's talk about what you saw. You saw the porridge bowls that were empty, right?
And spilled.
You also saw the broken chair?
Yes.
And you just assumed it was Goldilocks.
Yes.
And you had no evidence that Goldilocks broke the chair?
Yes, but other witnesses do.
And you don't conclude it was Papa Bear fixing somebody's chair?
No.
Did you do any searches?
No.
Not the door lock
No, but it was busted.
or the rocking chair?
No.
And you have no concrete evidence of her doing anything wrong?
No.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel. Counsel for the prosecution, would you like to call your next witness?
Yes, Your Honor. State calls Reader Rabbit.
Place your right hand there. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Please state your name for the record.
My name is Reno Rabbit.
Where do you live in Happy Valley?
I live in the Woodswalk neighborhood.
How long have you lived in Woodswalk?
I've lived in Woodswalk for 12 years.
Have you been living with anyone else frequently?
I used to live with my sweet husband, Richard Rabbit, but he sadly passed away.
Is Woodswalk fairly quiet?
Yes, Woodswalk is very secluded from people.
Let's turn to your relationship with the Bear family. When did you meet the Bear family?
We met the Bear family shortly after we moved here.
How did you meet the Bear family?
Papa Bear came to help us install hurricane shutters.
Over the years, have you recognized the Bear family's personality?
Yes, they don't like people just popping in.
How do you know this?
One day, Richard tried to drop off oranges from our orange tree, and shortly after, Papa Bear put up a no trespassing sign.
Do you know why he put up that sign?
We learned he needs peace and quiet for his repairs.
Let's discuss Papa Bear's point of view for safety. How has Papa Bear helped you keep safe?
He changed the locks on my doors.
Do you think Papa Bear is overprotective?
Yes, because he told me I have to lock my doors even when just walking to the mailbox.
How do you feel about the Bear family moving?
I cannot imagine the Bear family moving somewhere where someone could ring the doorbell just to sell cookies. Papa Bear's gonna go crazy.
Lastly, let's talk about the break-in on October 6th. Did you see anything unusual on that day?
Around 11:15 a.m., I peeked out my window and saw a girl about Baby Bear's age, but I had no idea the Bear family wasn't home. The nerve.
Does this happen a lot?
We never get any humans around here because Papa Bear isn't very friendly with uninvited guests.
Have you been scared after the break-in?
Yes, to think someone would march right up to the Bear's family's home. Trespassing sign and all. It gives me the shivers.
Do you know what happened after you saw the girl?
I have no idea what happened, but I'm sure to lock my doors all the time nowadays. That Goldilocks sure made a mess.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel. Counsel for defense, do you have a cross-examination of this witness?
Papa Bear owns a repair shop,
Correct.
and Papa Bear was known for being messy.
Correct.
You have a chair from your childhood,
Yeah.
and that chair was at the Bear's place for replacements.
Yes.
Let's discuss Mama Bear's hospitality. Baby Bear doesn't live close to friends,
Correct.
but Baby Bear has friends over to his house a lot,
Yes, Mama Bear makes very good cookies that people like to eat.
so Mama Bear is very hospitable.
Yeah.
And the Bears are private people,
Yes.
and there was an open house during the hours of the break-in.
Yeah.
Let's discuss what you claim you saw. Around 11:15 a.m., you saw a girl around Baby Bear's age walking up the driveway.
Yeah, I had no idea the Bears weren't home. I wonder what she was doing.
You weren't watching the driveway, you just peeked out your window,
Yeah.
and you're not sure if it was Goldilocks?
No.
It was just a girl on the driveway?
Yeah.
Despite you knew the Bears a lot, you didn't even know that they weren't home?
Yeah.
So you want us to conclude that the girl you saw from your window inside your house walking up the Bears' driveway during open house hours was Goldilocks?
Yes, but the open house got canceled.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel. Counsel for the prosecution, do you have any further witnesses to call?
Please state your name for the record.
My name is Paul Bear, but everyone calls me Papa Bear.
Where do you live?
In the happy valley of Woodwalks with Mama Bear and Baby Bear
How long have you lived there?
for over 12 years.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a librarian at the Happy Valley Library.
What do you do in your free time?
I run a side gig called Papa Bear's Fix-It Shop.
Let's turn to your fix-it shop. What do you fix?
Clocks, furniture, toys, you name it.
Where do you fix?
In my garage.
What are some problems you have with the fix-it shop?
Well, it's hard to know when people pop by, and sometimes I leave my tools around in the house.
Let's discuss the morning of October 6th. What were the plans for October 6th?
The plans were to wake up early and clean the house for the open house.
Why is there an open house?
No, it got canceled because our realtor told us he had the flu.
What were you supposed to do when the open house was canceled?
To take down the signs.
Lastly, let's talk about what you saw when you came home. Tell us, Papa Bear, what did you see?
I saw the door busted wide open.
What about the inside of the house?
I saw spilt porridge and a broken chair.
Was there anything new in the house that didn't belong?
Yes, there's a girl in Baby Bear's bed.
Who was it?
I don't know, but Baby Bear said it was Goldilocks, his friend from school.
What did you do after you found Goldilocks?
I immediately called 911.
What did the officer say after investigating?
He said she was the one who broke into the house.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel. Counsel for the defense, do you have a cross-examination of this witness?
There was an open house the day of the break-in, correct?
Yes.
You left the sign up, correct?
Yes.
An open house means you can come inside, correct?
No, you have to let the realtor let you in.
You left in a hurry, correct?
Yes.
So, there is a chance you left the door unlocked, correct?
Yes.
You are very messy, correct?
Yes.
So, maybe the house was messy before she got there.
Correct.
People are bringing broken stuff to you, correct?
Correct.
They come without you knowing, correct?
Correct.
So, there is a chance they left the broken chair, correct?
Correct.
When you got home, the door was open, correct?
Correct.
There was a huge mess, correct?
Correct.
You said that Goldilocks was an intruder, correct?
Yes.
Even though she wasn't invited.
Correct.
So you called 911 on someone who was invited to the house, correct?
Correct.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel. Counsel for the prosecution, do you have any additional witnesses to call? Counsel, you may proceed when you are ready.
Please state your name for the record. Maxwell Mole. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I play trombone in the school band. I like hanging out with my friends,
and I play football for the Woodland Wildcats.
Can you tell us a little bit about your football record?
I have the highest record of sacks in our league.
Do you have special equipment?
Yes, what I'm wearing is special goggles that help me see the ball and the offensive line better.
What about your other senses?
My nose is my superpower. That's what I like to say.
Let's discuss your friends. Who are your friends?
My friends are Robin Roberts, Chipmunk, Baby Bear, and Goldilocks Goldberg.
How long have you known them?
I've known them from kindergarten, and Miss Tuttles calls us the Three Amigos.
Do you ever go to Baby Bear's house?
Yes, usually on the weekends and sometimes on the weekdays.
Describe what you do at his house.
Usually, I watch Papa Bear does his workshop, or I go outside and play basketball with Baby Bear, and then Mama Bear calls us in for homework and snacks.
Let's turn to the day of the crime. Did you invite Baby Bear over to play Fort Day?
Yes.
What time did you arrive at Baby Bear's house?
Around 11 a.m., I think.
What did you do when you got there?
I noticed nobody was home, so I just started playing basketball.
What happened while you were playing basketball?
Well, while I was practicing my jump shot, I smelled something scrumptious and noticed that the side window was open.
Lastly, let's talk about what you saw in the window. What did you hear in the window?
I heard footsteps walking to Baby Bear's gaming chair.
What did you see when you looked through the window?
I'm pretty sure I saw a blonde-headed girl sitting in Baby Bear's gaming chair.
So you saw the blonde girl, the blonde intruder, sitting in Baby Bear's chair?
Correct.
So that means the chair could not have been broken before she got there?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel. Counsel for the defense, do you have a cross-examination of this witness?
You have tiny eyes.
Correct.
You can barely see.
Yes.
You need special goggles to see.
Yes, like the ones I'm wearing.
You didn't have your goggles when you went to Baby Bear's house?
Yes, but like I said, I saw a blonde-headed girl.
You claim you saw Goldilocks in the living room even though you didn't have your goggles on?
Yes.
Your closest friends are Baby Bear, Chipmunk, and Robin Roberts.
Yes.
You carpool with Baby Bear many times a week.
Yes.
You were invited to play a video game.
Yes, the new Fort Day.
You got to Baby Bear's house before they got home.
Yes, around 11 a.m.
You get invited to Baby Bear's house often.
Yes.
You were playing basketball while waiting for them to get home.
Yes.
While you were playing basketball, you smelled something delicious.
Yes, it was Mama Bear's famous cookies and porridge.
You walked to the kitchen and noticed the window was open.
Yes.
You stuck your head through the window and saw Mama Bear's cookies.
Correct.
You were tempted to eat a cookie, or to take a cookie and eat it.
Yes.
But you heard your mom say, "Keep your nose out of trouble, Maxwell Mole."
Yes, that's what she often says to me.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel. Counsel for the prosecution, do you have any final witnesses to call?
Place your right hand on the Bible, your left hand on the ear. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Please state your name for the record.
My name is Dr. S. Mar Alec.
Is this your first case involving a break-in?
Yes.
What is your main field of expertise?
Homicide investigations.
Do you assist the Happy Valley Police Department?
Yes.
Do you help the Happy Valley Police Department in all fields of CSI?
Yes.
Let's turn to your education. What is your bachelor's degree?
Criminal justice.
Do you have a PhD?
Yes, I do, in forensic science.
Where did you get your PhD?
From the University of Woodland City.
What type of methods do you use?
Standard methods within the forensic science fields.
Did you see Dr. Goodrich's report?
Yes.
Let's discuss Dr. Goodrich's report. Did you find anything from Dr. Goodrich's report?
I found two main reasons that I disagree with it.
What is your first reason you disagree with the report?
The first reason I disagree with Dr. Goodrich's report is that she waited 96 hours until checking for DNA. Usually you wait 24 and at the most 72, so there would be a lack of DNA, footprints, fingerprints, and fabric.
What is the second reason you disagree?
The second reason I disagree with her report is that she investigated after other people like Baby Bear, the Bear family, and Officer Griffith were in the house, so that would disturb the crime.
Why would that disturb the crime?
Because other DNA would have been there last.
What DNA should have been there?
Baby Bears, the Bear family, or even Officer Griffith.
Lastly, let's talk about Goldilocks. Do you know anything about Goldilocks' entry?
Yes.
What do you know about Goldilocks' entry?
I know that Goldilocks herself said she entered the house.
Do you know anything else about Goldilocks?
Yes, I saw her text.
What did the text messages say?
The text said that she was hungry and she wanted to steal one of Mama Bear's cookies.
In your expert opinion, what is your final conclusion?
My final conclusion is that Dr. Goodrich's report is flawed. Goldilocks entered the house and made a mess while she wasn't even a guest, and the DNA went away.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel. Counsel for the defense, do you have a cross-examination of this witness?
You're an expert, correct?
Yes.
But you usually work in the homicide investigations?
Yes.
And this is your first case involving a break-in?
Yes, it is.
You were asked to review this case by the Happy Valley Police Department, right?
Yes, it was.
You earned your bachelor's degree in criminal justice from Arthur and Morgan Institution, right?
Yes.
And your PhD in forensic science from the University of Woodland City, right?
Yes, I did.
And you never inspected the Bear family's home?
No, I didn't, but I did see Dr. Goodrich's report.
You reviewed Dr. Goodrich's report, correct?
Yes.
And there's a lack of DNA evidence in this report, right?
Correct.
And in Dr. Goodrich's report, it shows since there is no DNA, Goldilocks did not force entry or destroy property in the Bear family's home.
They waited too long to check for DNA, so there could have been that have gone away.
So you have no DNA evidence?
No, I don't.
And you also have no fingerprints?
No, I don't.
No hair strands?
No.
And no fabric pieces, right?
No, I don't.
So you have no proof of Goldilocks Goldberg forcing entry?
I have no proof, no.
And no proof of her breaking or destroying any of the Bear family's things?
No, I don't.
And you conclude that Dr. Goodrich's report is flawed?
Yes, I do.
And you conclude that Goldilocks did force entry and ransacked the house?
Yes.
And then she collapsed from being tired?
Yes.
And you conclude that she was and still is guilty?
Yes, I do.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel. Counsel for the prosecution, are there any final witnesses, or do you rest your case? It appears that the prosecution has chosen to rest their case. Counsel for defense, are you ready to proceed?
Please state your name.
Goldilocks Goldberg.
Where do you go to school?
I go to Happy Valley Elementary School, and I'm in Miss Tell's 5th grade class.
What are your hobbies?
I do cheer and play basketball.
Who are your friends?
Max Mole, Robin Roberts, Baby Bear, and Chip Chipmunk.
When do you hang out with your friends?
Mostly during school, because on the weekends and after school, I'm busy doing cheer and basketball.
What happened on October 5th?
Baby Bear invited me and my friends to go over to his house to play a video game.
Let's turn to the morning of October 6th. How did you respond to the invitation?
I said I could not go due to a cheer tournament that morning.
What happened that morning?
My mom told me that the cheer tournament was canceled, and when I asked if I can go to Baby Bear's, she gave me permission to do so.
What did you do before you left?
I texted Baby Bear that I was on the way.
How did you get to Baby Bear's house?
I thought I knew the way, so I decided to walk.
Were you afraid on the way to Baby Bear's?
Originally, I was not, but then I got lost. The roads were very confusing. No one was in sight. I was scared. I was alone, and my phone had died.
How did you arrive at Baby Bear's?
At the time, I did not know it was Baby Bear's house. But when I saw an open house sign, I assumed a realtor or someone inside would be able to help me. So when I saw the doors unlocked, I decided to go in.
What happened when you got inside the house?
When I was navigating through the mess, I searched the house looking for someone to help me, but I couldn't find anyone. But when I came across a bed, just for one moment of comfort, I decided to lay on it. But I guess I fell asleep.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel. Counsel for prosecution, do you have a cross-examination of this witness?
On October 6th, you got permission from your mother to go to Baby Bear's house, not Baby Bear's mom.
Correct.
But Baby Bear was not expecting you?
He was expecting me, but he was not expecting me because I said I could not go.
Because you had a cheer tournament, right?
Correct, but I got canceled.
You claim you knew where Baby Bear lived, but yet you said you didn't know which house you were in.
Correct.
You said you were lost.
Correct.
You knocked on the bear's door.
Correct.
No one answered.
Correct.
So you knocked again.
Correct.
Just like before, no one answered.
Correct.
You figured no one was home.
Correct.
You walked in anyway.
Yes, because the door is unlocked.
When you went in, no one was home.
Correct.
You went in the kitchen.
Correct.
Then you went to the living room.
Correct.
You saw some tools on the floor.
Correct. The place was very messy.
You did not see a broken chair.
Correct.
You went to the bedroom and got in the bed.
Correct.
And you fell asleep.
Correct.
You're very busy, so you can't hang with friends.
Correct.
You are jealous.
Correct, because I never get to hang out with my friends.
You're jealous because your friends hang out, but you can't.
Correct.
You ended up in his house.
Correct, not knowing it was his house.
The next thing you know, you're arrested.
Correct.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel. Counsel for the defense, would you like to call your next witness?
Yes, Your Honor. The defense calls Kelly Williams.
Please state your name for the record.
My name is Kelly Williams, but some people call me KW.
What do you do for a living?
I am a realtor for Happy Valley, and I am also the Bear family's realtor, but I might not be after Papa Bear called me a boy.
Where were you born?
I was born in Happy Valley and have lived there my whole life.
How long have you been a realtor?
I have been a realtor for over 15 years, and I never get tired of it.
Tell us how you know Mama Bear.
I know Mama Bear because she grew up in the house next to my father's and was a very kind girl.
Did you sell the Bear family their home?
Yes, I did, 12 years ago.
Let's turn to the neighborhood where they lived. Did you sell homes in Woodwalk?
No, I generally refuse.
Why not?
Because the families with young children don't like how isolated it is, and neither would I.
Explain how you think Goldilocks got lost.
Because of the lack of street signs, I also got lost there once.
When did you list the home?
I listed the home on September 1st, 2024.
Was anyone interested?
Yes, we actually had an interested couple, but they unfortunately got lost on their way over.
Let's discuss the ads. Did you put up any ads for the open house?
Yes, I did.
What kind of ads?
Social media ads and a sign in the front yard.
Did anyone come?
No, not that I know of.
Did you know that Goldilocks came?
After the incident.
Where were the ads put up?
On Facemail, Clapchat, and Instamag.
Did you ask Papa Bear to take down the sign?
Yes, I did, but he probably forgot.
Lastly, let's talk about the break-in. Did you tell Goldilocks that the open house was closed?
Not directly, but I took down all the social media ads.
Have there been any recent break-ins besides Goldilocks's?
Unfortunately, yes, and it is making it hard to sell the Bear family's home.
Were there many street signs in this area?
Not at all. Like I said earlier, I also got lost because of that reason.
Is it easy to get lost in the woods by their home?
Definitely.
Has the person that has been doing the break-ins been caught?
Unfortunately, no, but he better be.
Could the person doing the break-ins do this one?
That's actually a pretty possible thing.
Is it common for break-ins to happen in the area?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel. Counsel for the prosecution, do you have a cross-examination of this witness?
Let's talk about you in the Woods Walk neighborhood. You're a local realtor for the area, correct?
Yes.
You generally refuse listings in the Woods Walk neighborhood?
Yes.
This is because the area is isolated, am I right?
Yes.
It's easy to get lost in this area, correct?
Yes.
But you place street signs all around the neighborhood.
Yes.
There's not a lot of unexpected visitors.
Unfortunately, there is.
Now let's talk about the interest in the listings. There hasn't been much interest in the listings, correct?
Yes.
There was an open house on October 6th, right?
Yes, but it got canceled.
You advised the Bear family to keep the house clean?
Yes.
Due to the open house?
Yes.
Papa Bear was reluctant to hold an open house, correct?
Yes.
And the open house was canceled a couple hours beforehand?
Yes.
And you had even posted 3 advertisements on social media sites, correct?
Yes.
Clapchat?
Yes.
Instamail?
Yes.
FaceMac?
Yes.
But you had taken down those sites after it was canceled, correct?
Yes.
Yet you didn't post anything after it was canceled?
Yes.
So those who saw could still think there's an open house?
Yes.
But if someone came for the open house, no one would be there to guide those who came?
Yes.
So if you entered, you would have been coming in without permission?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel. Counsel for the defense, do you have any further witnesses to call?
Please state your name for the record.
Chip Chipmunk.
Where do you go to school?
I go to Happy Valley Elementary School, and I'm in Miss Total's 5th grade class.
What are your hobbies?
I like to play soccer, and my favorite subject in school is math.
Who are your friends?
Baby Bear, Goldilocks, Goldberg, Max Mole, and Robin Roberts.
How much time do you get to play with them?
At school, and once a week, I get to go to Baby Bear's house to play.
Let's look into the week of October 6th. Do you know if anything happened on the 4th?
Goldilocks sent me a text saying that she was jealous. I got to hang out at a Baby Bear's house and she could not.
So how did you react to this?
I thought it was strange that Baby Bear didn't say anything like, friends are always welcome.
How often does Goldilocks get to play at Baby Bear's house?
Never. She always has cheer competitions.
Did anything happen on the 5th?
Baby Bear invited us all to play the Fort Day video game at his house.
Who got invited?
Me, Goldilocks Goldberg, Max Mole, and Robin Roberts.
What do you know about Max Mole?
Max Mole comes with me every week to Baby Bear's house to play.
Let's look into the 6th day of the festival. Does your family do anything?
They host acorn storage for beginners.
Was that the day of the so-called break-in?
Yes.
So what do you know about it?
Goldilocks came back to school on October 8th with scratches all over her face and arms. I asked her what happened. She said she got lost in the woods, but she did not want to talk about it.
How is everyone treating her?
Baby Bear, Max Mole, and Robin did not sit at her table anymore, and I overheard them call her the intruder.
How was Goldilocks acting?
She felt even more left out than she did before.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel. Counsel for the prosecution. Do you have a cross-examination of this witness?
Good evening, Mr. Chipmunk.
Good evening.
Your best friends are Baby Bear, Goldilocks, Max Mole, and Robin Roberts?
Yes.
You and Max Mole hang out with Baby Bear usually once a week?
Yes.
Goldilocks never comes with you?
No, because of cheer.
Goldilocks looks sad because you talk to her about how much fun you have at Baby Bear's house.
Yeah, I think she feels left out.
On October 4th, Goldilocks sent you a text that said, "So jealous, you get to hang out at BB's."
Yes.
BB is Baby Bear, right?
Yes.
After Goldilocks entered the house, it split your friend group up?
Well, yes.
You and Goldilocks would not sit at Baby Bear's table.
Well, they wouldn't sit at Goldilocks' table, and I felt bad for her, so I sat with her.
She had scratches all over her face and body, right?
Yes, she said she got lost in the woods.
She admitted it?
Yes.
You hear Max and Robin call her the intruder.
Yes.
So it sounds like Goldilocks made a mess.
Probably.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Counsel for the defense, do you have any further witnesses to call?
Please state your name for the record.
I'm Gilda Goldberg.
Where do you live?
Happy Valley.
How long have you lived here?
Pretty recently, within the year.
What is your connection to this case?
I'm Goldilocks' mother.
Let's talk about Goldilocks. What does she like to do?
She loves doing lots of activities. She does dance, French, she does cheerleading, basketball, you name it.
Who are her friends?
Baby Bear, of course. She loves Max Mole, Robin Roberts, and I think a few other friends as well. Chipmunk.
How often does she get to hang out with her friends?
Not too often. I keep her so busy with her extracurriculars.
Does she still get invited to her friend's house, though?
She does.
Let's discuss the day Goldilocks was invited. Was Goldilocks invited to Baby Bear's house on October 6th?
She was.
Were you going to let her go?
I told her no because she had a cheer competition.
When did this cheer competition get canceled?
Last minute, due to the flu.
What happened after it got canceled?
She asked me if she can go, and I said yes.
Did Goldilocks know where Baby Bear's house was?
She said she did. They passed by there every day on the way to school.
Did you call Goldilocks after she left?
I tried calling her, but it went straight to voicemail.
Let's talk about how well you know the family. How well do you know Mama Bear?
Not too well. We met at a PTF meeting once, and she said Baby Bear was welcome, or Goldilocks was welcome anytime. Baby Bear lives there, of course.
How well do you know Papa Bear?
I only know that he has a shop in town, or he rents it out of his house.
Lastly, let's talk about what happened when Goldilocks got to Baby Bear's house and after that. Did you get a text from Mama Bear a week later?
I did.
Did you text back?
I responded to her, but I didn't hear anything back from her.
How did you find out that Goldilocks was in custody?
Oh, the police department called and said my poor baby had been arrested on vandalism and criminal trespassing charges.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel. Counsel for the prosecution, do you have a cross-examination of this witness?
Is it true that you're Goldilocks' mother?
Yes,
And you moved from Woodland City to escape the crime?
I did.
You like to keep Goldilocks busy.
Of course.
She does cheerleading, basketball, dance, French, and piano lessons?
She does. She's so busy.
And it's because of all these activities that she never has time to play with Baby Bear and her friends?
That's true.
So you would like to keep her focused on things other than her friends even though she's still in 5th grade?
Yes, we're building her college resume. It's very important.
So Goldilocks was invited to Baby Bear's house on October 6th to play Fort Date, as you call it?
Mm-hmm.
And you said no because of her cheer tournament.
Correct.
But then the tournament was canceled because of the flu and you said she could go?
Absolutely.
Is it true that you let Goldilocks go to Baby Bear's house with no parent supervision?
That is correct. But I gave her a cell phone for emergencies only.
And she wandered through the forest to get there?
I suppose so.
Isn't it correct that you didn't even have Mama Bear's phone number?
I did not have it, but Mama Bear did reach out to me a week later.
And you didn't know where Mama Bear's house was?
I did not know.
On the morning of October 6th, around 11 o'clock a.m., you tried calling Goldilocks?
I did.
And it went straight to voicemail?
That's correct.
The Happy Valley Police Department called around 1 o'clock a.m. to say that Goldilocks was arrested for criminal trespass and vandalism?
That's correct, too.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel. Counsel for the defense, do you have any final witnesses to call?
Yes, Your Honor. The defense calls Dorothy Goodwin.
Please state your name for the court.
My name is Dr. Glenda Goodwitch.
What is your profession and where do you work?
I'm a private crime scene investigator, and I own and operate corporate Goodwitch Forensic Studios.
Where did you receive your bachelor's degree?
I received it in chemistry from Woods Forest University and my PhD in molecular biology from Woodland City Pharma Institute.
Who were you hired by?
Mrs. Gilda Goldberg.
When were you hired?
October 10th, 2024.
Let's turn to when you were hired. When did you start the investigation?
As soon as I was hired on October 10th, 2024, 4 days after the crime scene, which I admit was a little bit of a stretch.
What methods did you use?
I used DNA and the forensic testing.
Was there any DNA evidence?
None that connected Goldilocks to the crime scene.
What does this lack of evidence mean?
She did not forcibly enter the house.
I would like to talk about Gilda Goldberg and your investigation. How long after the crime was the investigation?
4 days after.
Why is this important?
Some DNA evidence could be lost.
What evidence should there have been?
DNA evidence, hair strands, or fingerprints.
Where should the evidence have been?
Maybe on the door handle or the window.
Lastly, let's talk about your conclusion. In your expert opinion, is it your conclusion that Goldilocks Goldberg had forcibly entered?
No.
In your expert opinion, is it your conclusion that Goldilocks Goldberg ate, stole, or damaged anything?
No.
Was this consistent with her story?
Yes.
What was your conclusion from the analysis of the crime scene?
Given the lack of forensic evidence, Goldilocks Goldberg likely did not forcibly enter the Bears family home.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel. Counsel for the prosecution, is there a cross-examination of this witness?
The crime was on October 6, 2024.
Correct.
You came on October 10th, 2024.
Yes.
Which is 4 days later.
Yes.
You said that's bad, and I quote, 4 days was a long stretch, and that can harm the collection of DNA.
Yes.
Is there a possibility that someone could have removed or cleaned up the evidence by accident?
Maybe.
Let's move on to other evidence you're looking for. Let's start from DNA from the skin and hair. It is very small.
Yes.
And both hair and skin can get blown away very easily.
Correct.
You'll look for fabric from Goldilocks' clothes.
Yes.
But no reasonable person will rip their clothing fabric on purpose.
Yes.
You look for fingerprints.
Yes.
But Mama Bear could have accidentally wiped off Goldilocks' fingerprints.
Possibly.
You also reviewed Officer Griffith's report.
Yes.
And Officer Griffith stated in his report that he noticed the front door lock was broken.
Yes.
Which could possibly mean someone broke in.
Yes.
Even with the possible evidence, you conclude that it was likely that Goldilocks did not force entry.
Correct.
Likely does not mean certain, does it?
No.
So since you're not 100% certain, Goldilocks could have forced entry.
Correct.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel. Does the defense rest at this time? In that case, we shall proceed to closing arguments. Counsel for the prosecution, do you have a closing argument to give?
Goldilocks made a mess, but she was not a guest. Throughout this trial, you have heard that Saturday, October 6, 2024 started out like any other day for the Bear family. You learned that they left for the Pumpkin Festival at 9 a.m. and returned at 12 o'clock noon to find a mess made by an uninvited guest. Undisputed evidence shows that Goldilocks Goldberg was in the Bear's house. Not only was she in the house, but she was sleeping in Baby Bear's bed. Even if Papa Bear forgot to take down the open house sign that day, Goldilocks entered the house without permission. Today, we have proven to you, members of the jury, that Goldilocks is guilty of trespassing and vandalism beyond a reasonable doubt. We called 6 witnesses. First, Baby Bear told you the front door was open when they arrived home. He found his favorite gaming chair in pieces, his porch was gone, and Goldilocks was in his bed. Andy Griffith explained that when he had arrived at the scene, the front door lock was broken, the house was a mess, Baby Bear's chair was broken, and his porridge bowl was empty. When Officer Griffith arrived at 12:12 p.m., the perpetrator was still in the home. Upon further investigation, he explained the suspicious text messages Goldilocks sent, where Goldilocks admitted to being jealous and planned on stealing a cookie. Goldilocks made a mess, but she wasn't a guest. Rena Rabbit, our first eyewitness, confirmed that she saw a young girl walking up the driveway of the Bear family's home. She confirmed that Papa Bear does not like people stopping by. He even kept a no trespassing and bears only sign in his yard. And since the break-in, she feels uneasy and afraid. Papa Bear's testimony showed that he did not like Poppins. He put a no trespassing and bears only sign in his yard to keep away unwanted guests. So even though there's an open house sign, this is completely irrelevant. Goldilocks should have known she was not welcome at that time. Additionally, she admitted she didn't even know whose house she was entering, so the invitation to Baby Bear's home is not a valid defense. When Papa Bear arrived home, he saw the door busted open, the messy house, a girl in Baby Bear's bed, and called 911 immediately. Max Mole, our second eyewitness, established that he saw a young girl with blonde hair sit in Baby Bear's gaming chair. Although Max Mole has tiny eyes, he is not blind. Keep in mind, Goldilocks is the only human friend they have. Finally, Dr. Esmeralda concluded that in her expert opinion in forensic science, she stated that Dr. Goodwich's report is unreliable due to the fact that she waited too long to collect DNA. Goodwich's investigation did not even begin until 96 hours after the crime. DNA can disappear after 24 hours. Dr. Esmeralda's conclusion is that Goldilocks Goldberg is the one who forced entry into the Bear family's home without permission, ate the porridge, broke Baby Bear's chair, and destroyed the living room. You also heard from several defense witnesses. Goldilocks admitted that she got her own mother's permission to go to the Bear's house that morning, not Mama Bear's permission. No one was expecting her arrival because she was supposed to have a cheer tournament. She knew where Baby Bear lived. She was jealous of the time all the other friends got to spend at Baby Bear's home. She entered the house despite the lack of anyone being home. The defense has tried to distract you with the open house sign, but Kelly Williams admitted to having the swine flu and canceling the open house. Gilda Goldberg, Goldilocks' mom, admitting to let Goldilocks go to the Bear family's home alone without checking to see if her phone was charged, and without even knowing where the Bears lives or even knowing the parents. Finally, Dr. Goodwich presented a report based on no DNA evidence. Her conclusion is completely irrelevant. You have heard from two eyewitnesses that saw her at the Bear family's home even saw her sitting in Baby Bear's chair. You have been presented with sufficient circumstantial evidence to prove Goldilocks is guilty of trespassing and vandalism. There are empty bowls of porridge, and Goldilocks herself was found asleep in Baby Bear's home. Let's not forget the wildly suspicious text messages indicating jealousy and the intent to steal. Goldilocks made a mess, but ladies and gentlemen, she was not a guest.
Thank you, counsel. Counsel for the defense, do you have a closing statement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Goldilocks was scared and alone with no phone. Over the course of this trial, you learn that Goldilocks was walking in the woods and was scared and alone. She saw an open house sign and found the door unlocked. Trembling and scared, Goldilocks found a bed just her size and collapsed in it. Today we have proven to you, members of the jury, that Goldilocks is innocent of vandalism and trespassing. We called 5 witnesses. First, Goldilocks told you she was scared and alone in the woods. She even had scratches on her face from the gruesome journey. She then realizes her phone was dead when she needs to reach out to someone. Luckily, she finds a welcoming home that provided safety and shelter. Goldilocks was scared and alone with no phone. Kel Williams explained there's an open house planned the morning of October 6th. Anyone could pop by at their convenience. The open house was canceled because he got sick with the swine flu. Papa Bear forgot to take down the open house sign, so it remained in the yard. Chick Chipmunk confirmed Baby Bear invited them to hang out at his house after school on the weekends. Mama Bear even makes them cookies. Baby Bear invited Goldilocks to join them, but she had a cheerleading tournament the morning of October 6th, which she often does. You are always welcome if your schedule clears up. This was the invitation extended to Goldilocks by Mama Bear. Miss Goldberg's testimony showed that Goldilocks was invited to Baby Bear's house on Saturday to play Fort Day. Her cheer tournament was canceled, which allowed her to hang out with her friends. Baby Bear's mom was always saying that Goldilocks could go and that Baby Bear was looking for taller friends to play basketball. Finally, Dr. Glenda Goodwich concluded that based on the lack of DNA or forensic evidence, Goldilocks likely did not force entry into the Bears family home and did not consume, damage, or steal any items. You also heard from several state witnesses. Papa Bear admits to being messy and forgetting to take down the open house sign. He also admits that people stop by often to his fix-it shop. Baby Bear admitted that he invited Goldilocks to his house to play with all his other friends. The open house was canceled, and the Bear family went on their annual trip to the Pumpkin Festival. Baby Bear left his phone at home, and when they went to the Pumpkin Festival and Goldilocks' phone died, there's no way for either one of them to communicate. The two eyewitnesses agreed that friends were often invited to Goldilocks' home on the morning of October 6th. Everyone had been invited to play Fort Day. You also learned that there is no DNA evidence to prove that Goldilocks touched the doorknob, broke into the Bears family house, or broke Baby Bear's chair. She mistakenly wound up in the house because she was scared and alone, and she had no phone. Considering all the evidence and testimony, you can confidently turn the only fair verdict. Find Goldilocks not guilty of trespassing into the Bears' empty home and destroying their property by vandalism on Saturday, October 6, 2024.
Thank you, counsel. At this time, the jury will deliberate and deliver a verdict. Order in the court. The court's period of recession is ended. I believe our jury has deliberated and are ready to proceed with their verdict. Foreperson?
The verdict of the jury is on the state's claim of trespassing. We find in favor of the state and find Goldilocks guilty of trespassing into the Bears' home. On the state's claim of vandalism, we find in favor of the defense and find Goldilocks not guilty of vandalism.
The verdict has been entered. The defendant is instructed to be taken into custody and await sentencing for the first charge. The second charge has been dropped. These proceedings are closed. Court is adjourned.